Hello and welcome to Stage Matters, the podcast that gets right into the heart of what happens when artists take the stage. I'm your host, Arvind Murli, and it's great to have you with me. On this podcast, we are cutting through the noise to understand the true essence of what makes a performance soar, what challenges performers face, and how they consistently deliver those transcendent moments. I'll be chatting with amazing artists and performers, from seasoned veterans to rising stars, to hear their stories directly. We'll discuss the highs, the lows, the techniques, and the mindset that defines their approach to performance. If you ever wondered what it truly feels like to command a stage or what goes into those breathtaking artistic moments, you're in the right place. Let's pull back the curtain and dive into Stage Matters. My next guest really needs no introduction. She's an actor, an entrepreneur, and a popular TV show host. She's none other than Anu Hasan. Hi, Anu.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me. And
thank you for having me here.
Great to seeing you after such a long time.
I know, it's been ages.
So you've done so many hats. Okay. You're an actor, you're a performer, you're a talk show host. We are coming in this podcast from the aspect of live performance and doing things live to an audience.
Okay.
So I know that you were on stage when we were in college together and all that. Can you take me back to your journey of how it first began?
Right. So I think I was always someone who was a performer, and I've been on stage a lot. So even in school, I used to be on stage. But I think it's, when you're younger, you don't feel as nervous going on stage, or maybe that's how it was for me, because when I was in school, I don't even remember being nervous being on stage. Performing wasn't such a big deal. Oh yeah, I'm singing today. Oh, I'm acting. I have a speech, etc. But I remember my very first performance was Fiddler on the Roof in Bits Pilani, and that's a musical. And while I can somewhat sing in tune, I'm not a trained singer. So I used to be so nervous because when they gave me the chord, I didn't know how to start the song. So someone had to say, and only then I could sing, So there was a lot of anxiety associated with the singing aspect. The acting aspect, I wasn't nervous at all. But then as my journey took me through various phases. So singing was something that I was nervous of. And then I was comparing shows on stage. And I was nervous about that because, you never know what you might have to change in the last minute. But then I think acting is something that I have not been nervous, probably because I'm very comfortable. Whether I'm good at it or not is a different thing. But I'm comfortable, so I'm not nervous about it. But then the biggest body of work that I have is chatting with people. I'm always nervous.
Oh.
Always.
Okay, that's surprising for me to hear.
Yeah. Before every episode, I'm always nervous. I'm nauseous. I'm anxious, despite the fact that I'm very well prepared.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, it is always just before the show. The moment I say, hi, welcome, I've forgotten.
Okay.
And then I'm like in the flow.
Okay.
So that's how it is.
So how has your understanding of performance and performing evolved from the time you started from Fiddler on the Roof to now?
So I think when I was really young, I didn't take myself very seriously, so I was not anxious. In between, I started taking myself seriously, I got anxious. Then as I grew older, regardless of whether I take myself seriously or I don't, I'm anyway getting anxious. So I've decided that this is just part and process of, this whole curve that I have to follow. I'm confident. I get the research. I start writing my script. Slowly the anxiety builds. It peaks. I start talking to the guests and the anxiety comes down. So this is a cycle that I keep following every time.
So you're saying it remains constant?
It's always the same for me.
Wow, okay. Can you take me through your preparation process, assuming you have some show or talk coming up tomorrow?
Right. So if I'm going to be talking on stage, like for example, I spoke in IIT for the intramural lecture series, which is what set off my journey on social media. So for that, the way I prepped was, so I got my script done. I did my PPT and then so I rehearse it multiple times. I time it and I rehearse it multiple times. So that's how I do and that's the way I prepare for all my talks on stage.
In front of a mirror or something?
No, not in front of a mirror. Do you know, I don't even look at the mirror. I don't. I just don't look at the mirror at all. I just look at it to time myself. I stand and talk. I don't sit in a chair and rehearse. I stand and walk and talk. So I do that, and I do it multiple times. So this is how I prepare for when I'm going to give a talk on stage. But when it comes to interviewing people, that's completely different. Because as I always say, you can prepare all you want. You can decide what structure of script you want to follow. But when the guest comes there, they have an agenda as to what they want to talk and what they don't want to talk. And you will discover that only when you're talking to them. So you need to be nimble, but at the same time, you can't go in without a structure. So when I prepare for talk shows, I have a rough structure that I have, but they're all very flexible. So I can open one branch, go forward on that, and then come back, and then go on a different branch and come back. I'll have a basic structure. So the way I prepare for talk shows is I have points. And I say, these are the points that I have to cover in the conversation. And so I keep rehearsing the points.
Okay. So you have enough room for improvisation.
I have to have room for improvisation because if I'm rigid, then that makes my guest stop from going further down a path. Because the moment they know that, oh, she doesn't want to hear that, they'll close up. So I'm very flexible.
Do you have any like physical processes, like things you eat or things you drink before a show? Or...
I don't eat before the show because I'll throw up. So especially if I'm going on stage and I'm comparing one of these shows, that's why I minimize them, because it's huge going on stage and having some 1,000 people before you. That's not something I enjoy at all. So whenever I had to do it, I wouldn't eat.
Okay.
So I'd make sure that I'm not nauseous on stage and I don't embarrass myself by throwing up. But before, I don't eat 2 hours at least before any shoot.
So you still have stage fright?
Would that be stage fright?
I don't know. Or nerves?
Because stage fright would make you freeze. I don't freeze. I just feel anxious. So I think it's performance anxiety rather than stage fright.
Okay. And what do you do to...
I bulldoze my way through it. That's about it. Because, so I don't allow it to stop me from doing anything, right? And it never has, I mean, to be fair. It's not been so hard that, I freeze. I've never frozen on stage except for that Fiddler on the Roof when I couldn't get the scale. Other than that, I don't freeze. I mean, invariably, I'll move. So how do I overcome it? I just accept that, okay, this is something that I have to go through. That's it. It's part of the process. And there is always light at the end of the tunnel because it has never been that I was so scared that I messed up. It's always been that I was so anxious and so stressed, and then I pushed through it, and then I did the best that I could. So,
can you talk about the differences between the processes for doing a live show as opposed to doing like a film or TV acting?
Right. So I can talk only from my experience. So when you do a live talk show, which is what I've done, I mean, a large body of my work has been that. You are more or less, you have to remember that, first thing is, you have to remember that you're not the star. Your guests are your stars. So you just have to forget about everything else other than making them project themselves in the best light possible. I mean, that's what my mandate to myself has always been. So I have to remind myself of that. Then the other way I prepare is I make sure that there's research. So even though the research team gives me the research, I do my own research as well. And I complement their research with my research. I double check whether their research is, a superficial one where they've just picked it up from some source without verifying that source, because it's very embarrassing if you say this is it and they say, no, that didn't happen, because it has happened to me. A couple of times I didn't verify whether it was accurate and it was a wrong thing. So I don't rely completely on the research. Then once I have that research, then I structure it. I look at it I put it together in a cohesive flow, in the sense there is a particular sequence in which you can ask things. It just flows. So but when the research comes in, it's all haphazard. They'll just say this, what happened, that happened, this happened, and all of that. Then I'll link it all together so they are, they're kind of a smooth flow of conversation. Then I have the outline structure. And from there, I just make sure I repeat that. But this is before. But once I go and sit in front of them, I'm looking at their body language, their cues, etc. And so when they are talking about something and I realize that they want to expand on something which is going to go out, or rather, shall we say, out of syllabus, so to speak, from what I had prepared, I let them veer away. I follow them. And then I'm furiously thinking about which point will connect back smoothly to what I want them to talk about. So it's like a lot of mental work, and I'm always on the alert for that.
Okay.
So during the show, I have to I have to be prepared to quickly link back to what the original plan was. So that's for talk shows, which is live.
Yeah, live.
But for acting, when it comes to, I've not done a lot of movies, but whatever movies I've done, I'm someone who's very old school, so I learn my dialogues regardless of what language it is. So if it's in Telugu, I learn my Telugu dialogues. If it's in Tamil, I learn my Tamil dialogues. English, of course, I learn my English dialogues. And what I do is I first learn the dialogue so I don't have to use my brain to remember the words. So I know it by rote. Then I start looking at how would I feel if I were going to be this person. And then that's how I do it. So my preparation is firstly in the base on the dialogue side. Then when I go there, I talk to the director and see, okay, is there anything else you have in mind? And then they'll say, oh no, this is the back story and you need to have that as your subtext or whatever. And then I'll portray it. So it's easier being an actor because you just follow instructions. And then you do one take and then you look at the director and the director says, yeah, good. Okay. And then you're done. Otherwise, no, one more.
Yeah.
Then you say, okay, what do you want? So it's easier. And also there is no pressure for me. There's no performance anxiety there because, okay, if it's not that, do one more take. That's it. So big deal.
You have a preference between the two, which you enjoy doing?
I don't enjoy both. Tell me, who enjoys being anxious, nauseous, stressed, and all of that? No. I don't enjoy either. But the thing is, once I am... So I think, I was being flippant.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I don't enjoy the run-up to whatever I do.
Okay.
While I'm doing it, I enjoy it. After that, I forget. Okay. So for me, it's in the moment I enjoy it.
Okay.
The pre and the post, I don't enjoy.
Okay.
So.
What is the most challenging aspect of the live performance process for you, and what is the aspect you particularly dislike?
What is the most challenging aspect? Okay, this is a very personal thing. So, invariably especially, it's very me. Because for me, whenever I am in front of the camera, I know there's a lot of focus on appearance. Right? Because most of my jobs has been before the camera.
Yeah.
And I hate that aspect. Because you know me from uni and I'm not someone who places a lot of importance on the external appearance. So the fact that there is so much importance on the way you look is something that stresses me out. And of course, I've had to face a lot of body shaming and all of that, saying that, oh my God, you looked so old, you looked so fat, you looked so dark, and your hair was a mess, your skin was not good. It's always all those things.
This is on social media?
No. You'll have the makeup person themselves saying things like that. And you'll have co-artists making comments. I don't know how it is now because, to be honest, I haven't worked in Tamil film industry for a while now. It's mostly been in Telugu, and Telugu, they're lovely. But in the times that I did work, I've had, comments made about my body, about my size, about my skin tone, about my hair, all of that. So that is one aspect that I totally dislike. So what do I find challenging? What I find challenging is being able to go past that and not allow it to affect my performance. Okay. So that is what I find challenging.
So that's also something you dislike, obviously.
Yeah. This. You mean this? Talking to you?
No. The whole thing about appearances.
Yeah. I think it's nice when you want to look good and you want to be the best version and all of that. But it's not nice when you're constantly picking on somebody and saying, oh, don't turn like that. When I first did Indra, I was told by somebody, I don't want to name who it was, someone who said that, oh, don't smile so widely, it doesn't look good. Can you imagine one 24-year-old girl being told don't smile? And I was like, No, that's the way I smile. And thankfully, I didn't let it affect me, because now the feedback I get is, it's so nice to see you smile. It can be so off the mark, some of the remarks. So I think that's what I don't like.
How do you deal with unexpected things that go wrong during a performance?
Murphy is my best friend. So for those who don't know Murphy's Law, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Right? So I always believe that whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So before I start something, I look at all the things that can go wrong. So I have an alternative for that. And every alternative will have a backup.
Wow.
So that's the way I prepare. So in case they don't want to talk about this, then I'll talk about this. If they don't want to talk about this, I'll talk about that. If I say this and then they get upset about it, this is how I'll escape. So all of that will be there.
Okay.
So for me, and I can only draw from my experience being a talk show host. So this is how I prepare. But even after you prep beyond all of that, things go wrong. At that time, I think humility is your ally. I'm so sorry I messed up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Finished. That's it. You don't try to cover up. You don't try to... And then you make sure that you comfort them, or you apologize to them, or whatever. If something has happened and it's upset them, you make sure they're okay, and then,
What is your relationship with the audience?
Oh my God, do I have a relationship with the audience? I don't think so.
No?
No, because... So for me, mainly because I am always in the moment. So what I enjoy is the process, right? So it becomes rather irrelevant if someone tells me that, I didn't like it. Okay, you didn't like it, but that was my best. There is no question that I'm giving my best every time I'm doing something. So that being the case, if my best is not good enough for you, there really isn't anything I can do. So I am not really bothered about the criticism. When it comes to compliments, I say, okay, thank you. But this is how I'll do, whether you criticize me or compliment me. This is the version that, the best thing that I do. Because there has not been a back and forth. So I'm not like a singer, right, who goes on stage, reads the room and sees what is the pulse of the audience and say, oh, let's give them what they want. For me, my audience are my guests, right? My audience is my director. That's all. And as long as I please them, there is nobody else who's an audience for me. The director is my audience of the movie or the television series. And if the director is happy, my audience is happy, because that's my audience. And in the talk show, the guests are my audience. If they are happy, I've given them what they want and I've shown them in the best possible light, then that's it. But beyond that, I don't look at the audience.
Do you think the audience has a responsibility towards the performer or the people on stage?
See, everybody has a responsibility. I would rather that we said a human being has a responsibility towards another human being, rather than defining that you're an audience, you're a director, you're an actor, you're a singer, and therefore you have a responsibility. I look at it as this is an artistic pursuit. And someone is out there as a singer or a performer on stage, they're doing their best. Right? And okay, you've bought a ticket and you've gone and you don't like it. Okay, you don't like it. But your responsibility is to make sure that you're not unnecessarily mean to the performer, which I think is really not nice. It's not nice. I mean, you're an artist. You see a singer who's gone there and performed on stage. Terrible. Okay, you don't like it. It's okay. But don't just badmouth them so much. And I think your responsibility is to be a good human being, whether you're an artist or an audience.
And then talking loudly on the phone.
Oh my goodness. Please. This whole thing of, I like even when we were filming television, right? When I used to do those cookery shows and all of that, I used to ask for floor silence, because when I am doing the menu and I'm cooking and I'm talking to the camera, if you have someone else talking on the phone, it's like terribly distracting. Not only is it distracting, it's disrespectful. Yes, someone's performing, you're recording, or you're in the audience. Respect it. Respect that space.
Especially in theatres, I find it very, very...
Do they switch on the phone and talk?
It's like, Satish, then suddenly one guy will start talking.
We should have those, those catapults with little popcorns or something, and like fat.
It's a pet peeve of mine.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. No. If you look at it that aspect, yes, that is also being a responsible audience, a responsive audience, and a reasonable audience. These are all, I think, what you need to be.
Interesting words.
Well, that's what it suddenly struck me, so I just said it.
What about the promoter or the organizer or the person who hires you for your project? What expectations do you have of them?
So, so again, I will talk only from my limited experience. When someone gets into a contract with me for doing a role or doing something, I make sure that whatever, I read the contracts. Okay, I'm my father's daughter. So my father was a lawyer. I look at all contracts. I look at all, and I don't let anything slide. So if there's some clause that says you can terminate, as in the person who's producing it can terminate it anytime they wish. But if you want to terminate, you have to give notice for 6 months. No, I'll say no. It has to be same. So I expect fairness in the contract. And I expect clarity of the terms and clauses. And I expect people to stick to their contract. Sometimes these three things that I expect are unrealistic because my father used to say, the good man doesn't need a contract, and for the bad man, there's no point if there is a contract, right? So that is one thing. Then a second thing that I expect from an organizer is they should be clear as to what they expect from me. And that you're contracting me to do this. Anything over and beyond that has to be discussed with me first. So that is what I expect. And from myself, I always hope that they made a good choice because I know they are investing money. And I always try and help out in whatever way possible if I feel that is at risk. For example, I did a movie in which they were struggling to finish. And I really liked the team. And at the end of it, they still owed me money. And they still needed to, and they were struggling to get permission. They didn't have money to get location permission and things. So I called the producer and said, I know you're struggling. I know you owe me money. Don't pay me that money. Use that for the production instead. Right? So that is something that I do. I've done things free for people because I think, the impact that they make is good. So that is also something I do, and I expect that of myself when it comes to the people contract me to do a job. So that, suppose, is the answer to what you were asking.
Brilliant. So the life of a performer, live performer is very fraught with financial insecurity and
absolutely.
always,
Tell me about it.
For a person starting out, and
yeah.
How did you navigate these things?
So my life
What is your advice to younger people who are in it?
Whoa, I can't advise the younger people because the world is a very different world now. But when I was doing that and I was kind of not really stable financially, my life was always on parallel tracks, right? I ran companies, I ran my businesses, and on the side I did all the media work. So most people don't know that. So they think that I made my money only on in the media side of things, but that's not true. So I had parallel tracks. So I had something to keep the pot boiling, and this was something that I kept doing on the side. And if you ask me which is your passion, I said no, neither is passion. I just like living life. So I do both. So that's what I did. And I think at some point you have to accept that this is a very unstable. The world of art is very fickle and it's very unstable. So you need to be prepared to do some things that keeps the pot boiling and some things that keeps your soul happy. You need to have both. If you have only one, it is impractical. Because if you just do something for the money, your artistic soul will just die.
Yeah.
And that is so sad. But if you just say, oh, I am a pure artist, it's not practical. Where will you get your meal? Your meal for the next day is not going to come from the sky, right? So you need to have that balance. And that I think is tricky, but that's what I did.
Wonderful. I think lots of people will take something out of
Well,
this.
I hope so.
Including people like me.
All you pure artists know, I'm telling you. At some point, you have to be practical and say, okay, pure artist, okay, this makes my heart happy, I will do it. But this is what keeps the pot boiling. Because unless you keep the pot boiling, you won't be able to do this. That which makes your heart happy.
So all this is also very physically and mentally taxing.
Yes.
All the unscheduled hours, traveling.
Absolutely.
So what do you do? Like, do you have like physical and mental regimens?
Absolutely. Because what people forget, again, see, that is my main problem with this appearance thing, right? People are so focused, especially performers, focused on looking thin and slim and all of that. But the point is, you need the energy.
It's
you
even
need
more for women, right?
Yeah, you need that. Yeah, it's mostly for women. Who cares how the man looks? That's what I'm like very upset about. You know, like any woman goes on stage and they want to, kind of break down. Oh, she's looking a little, she seems to have put on weight. My question is, when you're dead and gone, is someone going to say, oh my God, she looked fantastic in a swimsuit? Are they going to remember that? No. They're going to remember, oh my God, she sang so well. She had such a fantastic voice. She was such a powerful performer. That's what they're going to remember. But having said that, I think physical fitness is so crucial for all performers because when you're strong physically, it kind of keeps you stable in your mind. You can handle stress much better. You are more grounded. You are more solid. Secondly, the demands that an artist's lifestyle makes on the physical body is tremendous because you film at all funny hours or you perform for very long hours. Then by the time you finish performing, it's like really late in the night and all of that. So you need to make sure that your body is strong enough to take all these demands. So from the time I was 25, I've been working out and I've never stopped. There have been gaps maybe in between, but it has always been. And the energy that I have today, I think is thanks to all the years of, and the time that I invested in my physical fitness. I'm not talking about being slim and lithe and looking great in a swimsuit. I'm talking about being able to keep going and the stamina to keep going for the hours that I've had to keep going. So it's very important.
Have you faced any particular challenges as a female artist in terms of safety or...
Nah, you know me in bits.
Person,
you knew me in bits.
But
do you
audiences
think?
Don't know that I know.
Okay, for the audience who don't know, so in bits, let me tell you how it was in bits. Okay, when we used to have a mixed football match.
I was laughing even before I was asking.
I know you were grinning. So this is for the audience. I'm talking to the audience, not to you. Yeah. So when we used to be in bits, there was a mixed football match, and it was a game between the girls and the guys, and they were explaining the rules, and the rules were. Guys, you can't charge the girls. Then they looked at me and said, Anu, you can't charge the boys. Okay, so that's the rep I had. And also I feel, jokes apart, I feel that the vibe that you give out is always read by the person on the other side, especially women versus men. Okay, 90% of the men... When you are very clear that, hey, I'm not flirting with you, don't give me shit. Sorry, bad word.
No, it was
okay.
Free for all.
Okay. So, I'm not flirting with you, back off. You say it in your non-verbal, they get it. I've had very few people, and it's got nothing to do with the fact that I'm a Hasan, right? I have faced artists in the UK. I worked by myself where nobody knew who I was. Even there was nobody who misbehaved with me, etc. So to a large extent, yes. So my personality is a huge asset. But I tell you what else is an asset and which is a privilege as far as I'm concerned is if someone crosses the line, I can say, hush you, Charlie, and walk out. There are some women who are not in that position and that's what is very saddening because they are in that place where they can't walk out, they are stuck and that is sad. It has never happened to me and I have to acknowledge that is a privilege because of the character and the person that I am, as well as my attitude as to what price I'm willing to pay for what. If that means I have to lose that show, and if the producer is flirting with me and I have to put up with it and I have to do that show, I'll say I won't do that show. Go away. That's all. So that's my approach. So I've never had any problems. And I've not had to walk away from a show either. Okay, because great. My first one, which is like, hey, don't mess with me. I'm not interested in your shenanigans, is what the men's lizard brains get. The lizard brain clocks it. So they don't even cross the line when it comes to me. Okay. You should know. Yeah. Everybody in bits knew it.
Yeah. I think I remember you chasing some guys out. It was one of my first impressions when my first year.
You know what? Bajpai one day he was telling me that my first sight of you was, do you know what? It was in workshop. I said, oh, what was he doing? You have the hammer, smithy, and you were smashing it down on some iron thing. I said, oh, that would have been very interesting. He said it was very scary. I said, okay.
Okay, leave out all the preparation, the skill, the technique and all. Do you think there is some kind of a spiritual aspect to being on stage and communicating, or beyond communication, is there some aspect to it?
So more than spiritual, I would say on an energy level there is. Okay, because that's what I've learned in my years as a talk show host. Because I'm communicating to them not just verbally, I'm communicating to them non-verbally and also on an energy level, right? So when people are sitting with me, I'm not doing it consciously, but that's how I am. People always tell me, hey, we feel so comfortable, we felt happy, and they don't use the word safe, but that's what I'm trying to make them feel. You know, I know that I will never take advantage of you. In a moment of vulnerability, if you've said something, I'll always check with you and say, are you okay talking about it? You know, so I'm reassuring them constantly. So on an energy level, I think as someone who's interacting with other people, you do communicate to other people on that level. On a large scale audience, I don't know whether you can communicate it. But I have had instances where I've picked up, when I was talking especially, I've picked up the pulse of the audience and I know that they are with me and I flick it and flick it and flick it and then I'm going with it. And then I'm cracking the jokes which I know would kind of amplify that reaction. So I do that. So that is again on a non-verbal energy level. So I don't know whether it was clear, but because this is the first time I'm talking about it, so I'm just saying it as my thoughts come out. So,
Crystal clear.
Yeah, but spiritual, I don't know, because when you say spiritual, I think of...
It's just a word.
For me, definition, spiritual is more like angels and souls and things like that. So, on that level, I've not experienced.
But as opposed to material and communicative... That's all.
But on an energy...
Word, actually.
Okay, neither do I. Because on an energy level, yes, you connect with the audience, you connect with the guest. You kind of, there is an energy level link that happens. And I know when it happens. You know, I just click and I know, okay, I'm there. And then the conversation is very different. You know, and I also know when we are slipping out of that space. And then I do everything to bring it back into that space. So there is that... what shall we say, navigation that I do on that level. So I'm doing, and my body language also is very important because it has to be a non-threatening. I'm a very confident person, but I make sure that I'm not overconfident and I'm coming across like I'm superior in some way. So I'm like, all that. So yes, so there is that level. But when I go to perform on stage, when I'm going to, if I were a singer, right? I think I'll forget everything and just be me and my voice and that's it. That's how it would be. So it's very different for different functions, I think.
So,
No?
Actually, this is very eye-opening for me because so far I've only been talking to musicians and the odd dancer.
Right.
So
did the dancer say something about this?
Dancer was Padmini.
Oh, okay. So did she say about the spiritual thing?
She also said she doesn't understand what is spiritual. Because I think but I think if you kind of revisit this conversation with her at some point and ask her on an energy level, how do you connect? She will connect. You know, I think all artists on an energy level, there is some work that we do. It's something that I want to explore, but I haven't yet. The next question also, I think I know what you're going to say, but I will ask anyway.
Okay.
So lots of artists and performers can't get on stage without some kind of an external stimulant, alcohol, drugs.
Okay, the audience must be wondering why I'm guffawing so loudly. For the purpose, everyone knows that I am like so anti all of that, right? So it's not a moral thing. Okay, let's get it very clear. I am not morally against anything at all. In fact, I would say I'm amoral. Okay, I'm not immoral. I'm amoral because I don't believe there is black and white. There's always black for me, white for you. You know, I believe that distinction is there. But, you know, when I don't like people doing drugs and doing alcohol or smoking too much, all of them have a direct impact on the health. And your health is the only thing that you have, right? Which is going to be with you all your life. And no matter how much money you make, how much fame you garner, if you have poor health because you've smoked too much weed, or you've got cirrhosis of liver because you've drunk too much, or you've got lung cancer because you've smoked too much, what use is it? So from that aspect, I say that don't. But I've heard the other argument where people tell me, no, it relaxes me before I go on stage. I can only say this: I've never needed it. I'm willing to battle through my nausea and anxiety and go through to the other side rather than take anything chemical that might have an impact on my health. Because as I said, as an artist, my health and my fitness is so important. So.
But what about your fellow performer?
Well, my fellow performer, if he's stoned out of his mind and comes and messes up the show, he's going to get a bop on his head. Because you're there, you have a responsibility to perform. And if you have done something that has dulled your edge and therefore you're not able to give your best, then you have failed. So I would be really upset with my fellow performer. But if my fellow performer has had a drink or wants to smoke and has had a couple of joints, whatever it is, and it doesn't affect the performance, it's none of my business. I won't, your life, you do what you want. But we are here to deliver a performance. And that cannot be put at risk. So if you can give the best that you can, doing whatever the nonsense that you're doing, that's your job, that's your business. But personally, would I do it? No. Oh, let me clarify. At this stage in life, no. Who knows, at 70 I might end up doing it. Yeah, we'll keep the door open always.
Important to remain open-minded.
Open-minded.
So what do you think is an aspect of live performance that you can never get in a recorded medium?
Oh, the instant feedback. Always. The instant feedback. Because you are sensing that energy, right? You're reading that energy from the audience like that. And it just, there's this communication that's happening, and there is, you take that feedback and then you deliver something, and then that goes up, and then you deliver something more. So it's like this volley that happens between the audience and the performer. That is not there in the recorded thing. But of course, in a recorded session, the advantage is that you can correct mistakes. But for me, when I do my talk shows, it is always like a live thing because as I said, my audience are my guests. So it's always live for me. So for me, it's that volley. I can clearly see, oh, they're opening up when I'm asking them like this. Oh, they just shut a little bit. They shrank a bit, emotionally or inside, they shrank a bit when I said that. I can sense that. So I take that feedback, that volley. So it's exhilarating when you can communicate like that.
So we are living in very digitized world. 15-second Instagram reels are lots of people's idea of high art. Or performance or whatever. What do you think is the hope for or the future of live performance in this environment? AI and all coming.
People are coming down to have the attention span of an ant. Okay, they're just not able. They're forgetting that all this constant short, quick reels is dulling your brain. First of all, I think it's all your what do you call it? All those pathways are getting just shorter and some of them are getting blocked, I think. That's one thing. It's not good for the person who's consuming. And the other thing is with AI coming in, I am really concerned, because no one seems to be rolling out anything with respect to AI with any sense of responsibility. They seem to be only doing it like a race. Can I get this first? Can I get the video gen? Can I get this music thing first? So everyone is looking at profit, but they don't understand the fallouts of all of this. And I am seeing, I don't know how much of it is true. They are writing programs which is supposed to self-destruct and it overrides that. And then it doesn't self-destruct and then it continues and to find a way to survive. And I'm saying like, boss, so Terminator was true, right? Next thing you know, you're going to have man versus machine. And so I'm afraid from that angle. From a creative angle, what is a point if that whole joy of that artistic process is lost? I'm a painter. I can get AI to paint something. What's the joy in that?
Yeah.
I'm a singer. I can get AI to sing something, but this human experience is being lost. And I feel if some, or if not many of us, can just band together and make sure that we don't give in to that AI wave that is coming, there will come a time when people will be so tired of AI. Human art, human performance will be at a premium. And I'm an optimist, so I want it.
I hope that comes true.
Yeah, I want that. I want that because even now you can see, you can see the content on social media. You see the videos, it's too perfect. It's too clearly AI. It's like the Ming vase, right? When they made the Ming vases, they deliberately gave an imperfection on the vase because it's the imperfection that makes it beautiful. And I think human beings are that. With all our imperfections, with all our emotions, when we perform and we create art, that's where the true beauty is.
So, talking about vases, I think the Japanese have this thing of if a vase breaks, that they stick it together and it becomes a new...
Kintsugi, I think.
Yeah.
Kintsugi, or kintsugi, I think, yes. Yeah, and they put it together and they fuse it with gold. So so the broken cup, actually when it's fused together with gold, actually increases in value. So it's very much like that, I think.
Yeah. So how do you define whether your show was a success or a failure?
So there are two metrics. One metric is the way my audience my guests walk away from me. At the end of every show, they always walk away with a lot of warmth and affection. So it's a success as far as I'm concerned. The second metric is whether my producer makes money, right? And of that, I have no control over. So I normally don't worry about that metric because I believe in this saying of, karmandame vadikaraste, mapaleshu kadachana. So you do your duty, do your best. So as long as I do my best interaction with the people and they go away happy, whether it's the director or whether it's the guest, as an actor I've succeeded, or as a talk show host I've succeeded.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. Whether it's monetarily successful or not, it's really not in my hands. There's so many other things. So.
Almost close to the end.
Yeah.
To wrapping up.
Okay.
If you have to distill what is the essence of performance into one idea or philosophy, what would it be?
You first have to find out what sings to you. And then when you perform, that is the song that you're singing to the audience. So if acting is something that sings to your heart, then the song that will make your heart happy is acting. So I think you just need to find that. That's the beauty of performance. The joy of performance comes only when you've identified it. Oh, this is what makes me happy. So I think my philosophy has been that.
Okay. Brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you, Anu.
Thank you very much.
It's been very eye-opening for me because, as I said, you're a first of a talk show host.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all been musicians.
Music. Yeah. Well, I hope the audience takes away something, and I hope it's interesting for everyone. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed the show. You can also follow us on Instagram and YouTube @Stage Matters Podcast.